Hello everyone, my name is Nguyễn Công Phi of Class 8.2 Nguyễn Văn Tố Secondary School. And today I'm going to talk about the only thing I talk about, the education system. And today I want to tackle a much bigger and broader problem that probably everyone knows about and I don't even need to talk about it. But I'm going to dissect it, I think. If human nature is to learn, then why do most students hate school anyway? That's so weird, isn't it? Because frankly, it goes completely against the human nature to progress. How do I explain this? Caveman pretends Tim is a caveman and he wants to eat something. So he goes out to find a mammoth, but he can't eat it. So he needs to go and learn how to hunt that mammoth, whether by himself or by someone else. And he does. So he hunts that mammoth and he has a meal. That is called motivation. You want something because it is good, it is pleasurable, and you achieve it by doing something else. A little girl who sees someone else with a sparkly new pair of shoes, she would want that pair of shoes, so she would do anything to convince her mother to get her that pair of shoes. That is also motivation on how it works. Humans operate on very simple terms, but no, it's more complex, but simply two terms. Fear and pleasure. Motivation is the strive to go towards pleasure, to get something you want via effort. Pressure, on the other hand, is the strive to go run away from fear because it hurts. So why am I talking about this? What does human nature have to do with school? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Because school doesn't operate on motivation, as we would think it would. It actually operates on pressure. Societal pressure, parental pressure, whatever you find. No child, a very small number of children actually want to achieve the numbers they're getting. Most of it are just like, oh, if you don't do this, you'll end up homeless. You'll be less than everyone else. You won't be as good as everyone else. And why is this a thing? Maybe you may ask. It is because of the standard. And I'm not saying the standard is the standard model human being. I'm going to draw a stick man here. What is this standard? This standard is very Asian. And it has become such a phenomenon that when we go to America or Europe, they make stories about it because it's so bizarre to them. We want a child who's perfect. We want a child who has good grades. We want a child who's obedient. We want a child who goes to a specific school and becomes a doctor or a lawyer. And that is understandable. I get it. But it defeats the entire point of individuality and also motivation as a whole. Because motivation takes this thing from individuality. We need to want something. We need to want something, not we need to fear that someone else wants something, so we need to do it. Does that make sense? I don't know. So, individuality. Why am I talking about this? What does this have to do with anything? I'm saying that twice now. So, the perfect standard of human being. A student who gets straight A's, a student who goes to great schools, a student who becomes a stable lawyer and doctor. That is the best kind of human that most people think of, which is simply not true. None of the people who are perfect end up world leaders, end up extraordinary, which is really a shame that we actually pushed this onto our children a lot. And it works really well. For example, my school, which is a scoring school made specifically for students who want to go to a better high school. And everyone in there honestly thinks the same thing. If they don't think the same thing, they just back out. They just don't care. I will oblige with this. And you need to trust. No, in this specific area, I am very experienced in because I went to 9 schools in total. And this one is like the most standard, the most boxed thing ever. I can't find the word. Let me find the word. The most... I think it's called the most molded school ever. It wants students to become this exact thing, and the students wants to become the exact thing. That's how it works. And this eliminates the whole entire point of individuality. which is the thing that motivates people to do anything. So that whole line means that they're doing this because of pressure, because of someone else, not because of themselves. Let me use more comparison. Americans, what are they good at and what are they not? Two things. Moral teachings, horrible, but individuality, amazing. Every single student in America has the goal to find themselves. That is the thing. Maybe they might want to be someone else for society, but that isn't actually pushed. They're just being stupid. That is not really a wide phenomenon to want to be someone else over there. They need to find themselves. But the moral teachings that I admit are horrible. Why are your students shooting each other? That is. How bad are you? If you hate your job. They hate their jobs. The teachers there hate their jobs. But not us. Our teachers are absolutely amazing in that sense. Our moral teachings are so incredible that we actually aren't racist. Which is surprising because it's very easy for us to be. The Americans bombed us. The Chinese enslaved us for years. France oppressed us. And honestly, every major country hates us. So we should hate them too, right? But no, we don't. We aren't angry because they oppressed us. We are proud of our ancestors for fighting back. We are proud. We are not angry. We don't hate. We're just proud. Which is amazing. This is one of the hardest parts a school can achieve, which I think that if it wasn't solved before, I wouldn't be able to solve this issue. Our country is just that good at this thing. So we don't actually need ethics class that much. It's just a suggestion, right? And we are horrible at individuality. As I said before, the standards is more present in Vietnam than ever. We have a specific thing that we want our children to achieve via psychological means or forcefully. Some parents actually torture their children by making them go to school till 9, I think, just to learn some more math. That what does it even result in? A higher score, sure. What will they do with that math? It's completely useless. But hey, look at that child. If they like math, they'll just go home and learn themselves. That is so much easier. Why can't we just do that? Why must we force them to do something that they won't like, that spends money, harms them psychologically just because our society says so? I believe this is a long-term societal problem that would not be easy to fix by all means. But if we just force our propaganda of being ourselves, which sounds stupid, but is really needed, onto these people who don't want to be themselves, maybe they'll just let go. The problem here isn't because the tests are so hard, because there's too much homework. No, I think it's perfectly fine. The homework and tests, okay, sometimes the tests are hard, but if you just let go, it's completely fine. The pressure is all mental. The pressure is all because of your parents, because of your peers, because of society. If you stop feeling this pressure, it'll become motivation. Not for math, not for literature, but for something else that came from inside you. That is your choice. Like me, I hate history because it's stupid, but why do I know about every single mythology there is? Because it's interesting, because I want to do it. It's even harder to remember than actual history, but I do, because I like it. It's that simple. Stop telling them to be someone else. Delete the standard of the model doctor lawyer and create people. I believe this is a long-term societal problem that would not be easy to fix by all means. But if we just force our propaganda of being ourselves, which sounds stupid, but is really needed, onto these people who don't want to be themselves, maybe they'll just let go. The problem here isn't because the tests are so hard, because there's too much homework. No, I think it's perfectly fine. The homework and tests, okay, sometimes the tests are hard, but if you just let go, it's completely fine. The pressure is all mental. The pressure is all because of your parents, because of your peers, because of society. if you stop feeling this pressure, it'll become motivation. Not for math, not for literature, but for something else that came from inside you. That is your choice. Like me, I hate history because it's stupid, but why do I know about every single mythology there is? Because it's interesting, because I want to do it. It's even harder to remember than actual history, but I do, because I like it. It's that simple. Stop telling them to be someone else. Delete the standard of the model doctor lawyer and create people.